EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for September 19th, 2023. It is Tuesday. We have no daily forecast video sponsor for Tuesday right now, but we do have one waiting in the wings for October 3rd to start and going forward from that point. So that is going to be the Tuesday video forecast sponsor beginning October 3rd. So the weekend video forecast will be coming open the beginning of November. I'm looking for a winter sponsor that is winter themed, preferably, that is going to take us through the entire 6-month period between November and the end of March. And that is going to be not only for the weekend video forecast that we do, but also sponsoring the Weather Weeklies videos that starts in November and runs through the end of March as well. So it's kind of like a dual thing there. So if you want any information about how you can sponsor the weekend video forecast, which again doesn't become available until the beginning of November for that open spot, reach out to me at info@epawaweather.com and I will get you all the information on how you can become the sponsor of the weekend video forecast. So you do see the sun behind me. That is a good sign. We have not only mostly sunny skies returning today, but also very comfortable temperatures, low humidity, and that's going to be with us for the next couple of days. Actually, through Thursday, we'll have mostly sunny skies all 3 days, and then Friday's a mix of clouds and sun. So through the end of the work week, we don't have any issues. It's at the end of the work week that we start having to watch the southeastern U.S. coastline here for development of a potential subtropical system. Now, it's not really shown too well here in the European model. It's a very weak low sitting right here that's going to be moving off to the north and maybe north-northwest, kind of like in this direction. So with that, there's the opportunity for some rain this weekend. It is not a slam dunk forecast, however, because there are disagreements between no matter what model depending on what model you look at, and there could be some heavier rain associated with it. This is possible now. Heavier rain associated with it on Saturday and Saturday night, maybe some light lingering showers on Sunday as that low pressure moves through, but there's not a definitive, yes, this is definitely going to hit type thing that we're dealing with here for this particular system. And it's all depending on how this is handled. This is the European model I'm going to show you right here, and it is going to move to the north here and then just cut off and head east and miss our area entirely, so the weekend is dry on the European model. That is the only model, unfortunately, that is showing that. Now, it does have a good chunk of its ensembles that I looked at that is probably more, it looks like more than half are actually favoring something similar to what the European model is showing here, which is for a majority miss of this entire region with this particular system. And again, this hasn't developed yet, so this is something that's still kind of in flux here, and we're going to have to continue to watch throughout the week. I probably won't have a better answer for you until the Wednesday video forecast, and probably, actually, to be honest with you, probably not till a Thursday morning video I do that will have a definitive, yes, this is going to hit, it's going to do this, it's going to be this kind of timing and that kind of thing. So we're still kind of in flux with this and just waiting to see what this does, if it in fact develops, which is not a guarantee either, or whether it's weak or stronger. That all these things play into how this is going to evolve, and this high pressure that is off to the north and east here is going to play a role to there. There's a big high right here sitting up here. So what does that do? Does that block it from coming up here? If this is a weak low, I will tell you that it probably has a good chance to do that. If it's a stronger low off the southeastern U.S. coastline, this high might not be able to protect us, and it might bring some rain into our region this weekend. I know, a lot of you have plans. There's different festivals out there. Celtic Fest is this weekend. There's a lot of things that are going on that you guys are looking forward to fall, and things that are going on in early fall, and different events, and this happens. We haven't had much rain on the weekends over the summer, but now we might be dealing with something depending on what model you look at. Here's the GFS. This is the latest and greatest GFS from this evening. Actually, these are all the latest models I'm showing you here. I'm going to show you the Canadian here in a second. Here's the GFS. It was really enthused with us getting hit pretty hard, but now it's starting to trend a little bit further southeast. We are starting to get some rain out of this here on Saturday. This would be Saturday afternoon and overnight. And you see it's trending further southeast. Before, previous runs of this were having it all the way up here in these areas. This entire area was under the gun. Now, some areas are not getting into it. Okay, so it might be a trend of something here, but it's a little bit too early to call any kind of trend with this. Now, this does have it as a subtropical storm off the southeastern U.S. coastline right here. You can see the center is up here. The rain shield is off to the north. Now, in terms of subtropical storms, I'm getting a lot of confusing questions about this. I know it's not a normal thing that you hear in everyday language. You hear subtropical storms. You hear of tropical storms. You hear of hurricanes. You hear of low pressure systems, but subtropical storm is not something that's very common. There are some seasons we go through an entire hurricane season without seeing subtropical cyclones at all. Okay, basically a non-tropical low, which is they can be found over land or water, as your typical everyday low pressure. Right, the storm's core is cold, and there will always be some form of a front or series of fronts attached to it, whether it be a warm front, cold front, occluded front. And it's basically dealing with a contrast of warm and cold air masses. Okay, so that's your everyday low pressure that produces precipitation. A tropical low or a tropical cyclone, tropical storm, whatever. These are also low pressure systems, but they're fueled solely by heat energy released when water vapor evaporates off the warm ocean water and it condenses into liquid. Okay, and due to this latent heat release, the core circulation of a tropical cyclone is warm. It's a warm chord system, and its strongest winds are usually found near the center when its exposure occurs over water for a very long period of time in a low sheared environment. They can develop into hurricanes. So these are very common things here in the summer, this time of year. However, a subtropical storm is a hybrid version of both. Okay, so you have it happens when the low usually slows down, like this is doing. See, it's not really moving too much. It goes here on Friday morning. Saturday morning is barely moving, okay? And it's over the Gulf Stream, which runs kind of like right up here. Here's the Gulf Stream. It runs like this. That's the Gulf Stream. So it's running right over the Gulf Stream, and it's very warm water there. So you have thunderstorms that begin to gather closer to toward the low pressure center. And if there's little or no shear, like there is projected to be for this type of system, and you have an upper level trough that's sitting up here like this, okay, so you have two things going on here. You have warm air at the surface, and you also have very cold air aloft from this upper level trough that's in place, okay? So you have a clash of warm air and cold air right near this boundary, okay? And so what this does is, basically the thunderstorms that are around the center, the lower levels of the atmosphere of the core will be warm chord because of this thunderstorm activity, and the upper levels will be cold. So you don't have a true cold core system, you don't have a true warm chord system. This is kind of half and half. Upper levels are cold, lower levels are warm. So throughout the column, and aloft it is still cold. It still involves a contrast of temperatures between this cold air mass and the warm air mass. So that's basically the best way I can explain it. It's a hybrid system, hybrid between a regular low pressure and a tropical storm. It's halfway in between. And so that's what this is. I just want to answer that because a lot of questions came through on the YouTube videos, comments, and also on Twitter yesterday. So this, what this does is still in question as far as, does it affect Saturday and Sunday? We don't know yet. Here's Sunday. Now it has another low sitting here off the Delmarva for the GFS. The most organized, and this is what several of the runs of the GFS and previous runs of the European model did as well, is to bring a heavy swath of precipitation across our region here on Saturday, and then it lightens up on Sunday as the low pressure itself moves through the region, but you still have showers throughout the day here on Sunday. So it's kind of like a low chance forecast, a low probability forecast right now, or a local forecast. We have 40% on both days because there's a lot of uncertainty with this. Whether it even hits or not, we don't know yet. And we'll hopefully know by the middle of this week. If not, I would say by this Thursday, Thursday's video forecast, we should have a much better idea. So what I'll do on Wednesday for the next video is just update the trend since this video and where we're heading, okay? But it does look like this is going to last until Sunday, and then Monday, depending on what model you look at, again, this might linger into Monday, maybe it doesn't, we'll see. Again, this is just something we have to follow throughout the week, and I'll keep you updated as we get new information tomorrow and again, especially on Thursday. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martis. That is your outlook for September 19th, 2023. Have a great Tuesday.